All right, everyone. Today we are here with Marcus Haynes. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing, audience?
Good. Doing great. So let's just start off at the beginning of your football career. When and why did you start playing football?
Shoot, I started playing football when I was real young. It would had to have been around like maybe grade school. I can't remember the exact grade. I was a multi-sport athlete. Well, I also had two other brothers. Our parents threw us in all different type of sports, summer camps and stuff. I ended up sticking with football and basketball. Those are the two that came the easiest to me. So playing all those sports down back in that day. When it started coming down to high school, it kind of slimmed down to just football and basketball. Playing, and track too. I'm sorry about that. So football, basketball, and track. And then once it started coming down to the end of high school career, I ended up having a little more interest in football than basketball. So football became the main focus.
Yeah. And then I noticed it said you started out playing wide receiver. Tell me
Yes,
about a
sir.
little bit about that.
Oh, yes, sir. So I played receiver all of my life. Like my dad used to always show me like Jerry Rice videos, like the 30 for 30s on the ESPN on the TV and stuff like that. And always was like the pretty boy prime time type of guy. Like I wanted to catch the ball, score touchdowns, had like the big glory moments and stuff like that. So it always came like easy to me, like playing offense. I always was a ball hog. Used to hate when we ran the ball, stuff like that. Like, mhm.
Yeah. And then just what kind of made you want to transition to the other side of the ball?
Oh, that's actually a funny story. So after high school, I didn't have too many like offers, or you would say Power Five or even mid major, or even D1 AA. To be honest with you, but I had a good GPA and also had good test scores, so I ended up going to Fort Union Military Academy. If you ever heard of that in Virginia under John Schumann. So once I got to Fort Union Military Academy, um, I dropped 6 passes in my first game, and that never happened in my life. So I got benched. And then also there on the last play of the game, they were saying that they needed someone to rush their passer. They were like, shoot, throw hands in there. And I went in there and got a sack. I guess my first play at the end. And then the next day, he had sat me down in his office and he was telling me, Coach Schumann sat me down in his office and he was telling me, well, there's a lot of guys that look like you at receiver that run a 4.5. But there's not a lot of guys that look like you at DN that run a 4.5. So then we're going to switch your position over to defensive end in order for you to be able to go to college. Are you going to be okay with that? And I said, whatever y'all need to do.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. And you always hear guys, going from O line, D line, or, wide receiver to corner, but I don't think I've ever heard of someone that switches from like that from your wide receiver to DN. That's pretty awesome.
Yes, sir.
So then, kind of building upon like what you said, what made you choose Old Dominion?
Okay. So that's also another funny story. So throughout the recruiting process of Fort Union, I guess like we weren't allowed to have like our phones, and we also weren't allowed to like social life was to a minimum. Like the concept of it was you need to be locked in on football for 6 months in order to be in somebody's program going into January. So we didn't really have like too much connection like with the outside world, if that makes sense. So while I was at Fort Union, I was able to accumulate the offers of Colorado State, Cincinnati, Virginia Tech, and Old Dominion. And it was funny that like on the last day that we always have like a big combine. Well, Fort Union has a big combine, and so I guess the coaches came out to see me. After that combine, well, I also killed that combine too. But at the end of that combine, the Colorado State coach kind of told me that someone committed to my position. I haven't heard that at that point. So I was like, okay. So they told me I wasn't able to take my official visit. Virginia Tech told me that I did not have enough lead in the pencil to get it done in the ACC exact quote. So that put a big chip on my shoulder. And I actually took my visit out to Cincinnati, and I actually liked it out there. I met with Coach Prutney. I think he's the head coach at Hampton now, but he showed me and my family a great time. He did a good job selling that school, and I actually liked Cincinnati. Then when I came out here to Old Dominion on my official visit, I was liking everything out here. We were comparing everything back and forth, And as we're at our official visit breakfast, we look up at the TV and it's ESPN on, and the Cincinnati head coach resigns. So we're thinking as a family, like, ooh, so how does that affect like an offer when you go down from 5 schools to only 2? So we went home and we called both coaches, and Cincinnati told us that I want to be able to accept an offer at least until the summertime, where I wanted to be early in world league going into school in January and being able to play spring ball and be able to get a head start of where I was supposed to be, not coming in with the summer recruiting class. So then I got right on the phone with one of my good friends, Coach Malone, and Coach Kamish, and I committed to Old Dominion. I feel like God did a great way of showing me exactly where I needed to go.
Yeah. And then do you feel like it kind of was a decision in terms of like a football program? Obviously, Cincinnati is a little bit more of a recognizable name than Old Dominion. Do you feel like because they showed you that kind of better atmosphere that it kind of steered you that way as well?
I wish I had all the information that I did now. I mean, that I have now back in the day, because it's easy for well, now in today's age, it's very easy for an athlete to be persuaded by NIL deals or how big a school is, or like what does the campus offer, things of that nature. Things like that wooed me back in the day. But with being placed here at Old Dominion, I was able to play behind a 3rd-round draft pick, a Super Bowl champion, guys that are still in the league. So coming in, I didn't know I would be playing behind a 3rd-round draft pick, a Super Bowl champion, and other guys that are also still on XFL and NFL rosters to this day. So I feel like for me coming in, like I feel like my experience was very unique. Like I feel like I was very blessed in that aspect.
Yeah. And then kind of some building on that, you have some former Old Dominion, I don't know about teammates, but obviously Taylor Heineke, Zach Pascal, some of those guys. How does it feel to kind of see them doing their thing in the league and just being like, okay, I was where they once were, that kind of thing?
It pumps you up way more than you know, because these are guys that you practice with. These are guys that you went to go get meals with. These are guys you walked on campus with. So it's just like when you see them doing great things, and now it's your time to be able to step up and be able to do great things. Just let you know that I'm supposed to be exactly where I'm at today, and it gives you more confidence in knowing that if these guys come from the same way, from the same place that I come from, then I can go out here and do the same thing, if not better.
Yeah. And then tell me a little bit about, being the student part of a student athlete. I know it's tough for everyone during like the COVID-19 pandemic and just playing football at that time as well. Like it must have been really hard.
Yes, sir. Well, throughout my college career, I was able to earn 2 degrees. My first degree is in media communications, and my second degree is in leadership. Throughout that whole process, coming into school, I thought I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I also had like big dreams of being like a cybersecurity agent. But coming in and being able to recognize my path, I was able to fall in love with the camera and videography and everything that comes with that. So going to class and stuff like that was easy. Like that always came easy to me. Like I enjoy my professors. I still contact some of my professors to this day. They are sending me encouragement with everything I'm going through now. That's also something that I would encourage the youth to do. Be able to start doing that at the youngest age possible, getting able to know your teachers and knowing your professors, because they've put you over the top and with connections at the next level if football doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But going,
speaking of those connections, let's say football doesn't work out. Hopefully it does. What is your dream job, or just what do you want to do if football doesn't work out?
Okay. So I have a very close family connection with a guy that you might know. His name is Michael J. Harris. He works for ESPN. So he knew my mother back in the day. And I think my dream job would be working with him as a creative director for ESPN. I feel like I'll be able to work their tech boards. I'll also be able to edit. I'll also be able to bring my vision to the national news level.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sure.
And do you watch some guys that are former players, that do broadcasting now, like McAfee, some of those guys?
Yeah, I can't rattle any off the top of my head, but I'm a big YouTube guy. Well, one of the I watch a whole bunch of podcasts about like old NFL veterans. Like I like hearing like how they talk about their old stories. Sometimes they actually have good information that's just not actual, just like conversational talk about like what goes on in the locker room, what I could possibly expect coming in, like experiences that they had that maybe a lot of people will never be able to experience. Being able to dream, pray, and hope that happens for me, stuff like that.
Yeah. And then in terms of the college career, what is one game that sums up like the kind of player that you are? Like, what are all the people listening? Tell them like that one game, where you got all the best highlights from.
Um, hmm. To be honest, I'll tell you about the game I got my first sack. This was against Virginia Tech. This is where we beat Virginia Tech for the first time at our house. I was a redshirt freshman. I was playing behind O'Shane Jimenez and Tim Ward, the guys I was telling you about, the third round draft pick and Super Bowl champion. And I was finally starting to find my role in special teams. I was able to start on kickoff. I was able to start on punt return, and I was doing good enough. As to where when we reached our fourth game and we had them, I finally started being able to get a few snaps behind these guys on the field. So what they did for me, they made a package called the penny package, like a rush package. So I was able to go out there and rush with O'Shane and Tim, well, all three of us being on the field at the same time, with the extra DB added in the on the back end. So my first play I got in, I was actually able to secure the sack. I can't remember what the right tackle's name was, but he was super big. I remember going out there and looking up at him, and I'm 6'5". So imagine being like really looking up at somebody that's that much bigger than you, having that fire in my chest, remembering what they told me, that I didn't have enough lead in the pencil to get it done in the ACC. I had something for them. I remember getting off, hit my move, the move not really working, but continuing the rush. By the grace of God, well, not by the grace of God, but Tim Tim missed the sack, and it literally fell right into my lap. I remember I got up, I blew him a kiss to the sideline, and I turned back and celebrated with my teammates, and that was like welcome to college football moment for me. Like whole crowd roaring, we're beating Virginia Tech, who's older than me, and why are they beating Virginia Tech? I'm making a big contribution to that game. That was just like that's everything you dream of being able to be a college athlete.
Yeah. And then kind of speaking of on building on that again, well, who's the toughest like offense quarterback just in general that you had to go up against?
Well, I'll do you one better. The best tackle that I've ever had to go against is Mr. Tyler Smith. I think he is Dallas Cowboys first round draft pick. We played them in our bowl game at the Myrtle Beach Bowl 2 years ago, and we had a great game. I feel like he showed me that, and not knowing at the time, I didn't know that he was going to be a first round tackle after that game, but being able to go toe to toe with him, being able to set the edge against him, being able to beat him in pass rush, being able to have a full good game, being able to go back and forth and talk mess with him, and actually like get down and dirty with him, like be able to play football with him like that. That just shows me like the level of play that I'm able to play at, and I feel like that was the best guy that I played in my college career.
Yeah. And then does that kind of make you feel a little bit better about yourself that you've gone up against a first round talent like that?
Yes, sir. That gives you a lot of confidence. What do you think, to be honest? Because when you go back and you watch your film, and I'm very critical of myself, so I can't really say that. When you feel like you did good, but you didn't win the game.
Yeah.
You get to go back and analyze what you did good, and you also analyze what you did bad, and be able to work on what you did bad in that game, or not even bad, but just things you can improve overall. Being able to make your game stronger in that area, and then go back and seeing like things that worked on him, like pass rush, the way I put my hand in his chest to be able to set the edge certain plays, being able to make those points stronger and makes you a stronger athlete in total.
Yeah. And then what kind of position or like just general scheme do you feel comfortable in? Like what would you say is like your easiest position to play you at?
I feel like in today's game, I will be like a stand-up end, someone that moves around, something similar to Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
I know that fits in a traditional 4-3, but it also fits in a 3-4. Just depends on how people draw up their schemes and
Yeah, just
how they
basically
fit in your
match up,
specific
trying to
scheme.
stuff like that.
But I can come off the edge. I can cover a slot receiver. I can cover a running back coming out the backfield. I can also step off the ball and line up in a linebacker position, rush the A gap, the B gap, the opposite A gap or B gap. I can really come from anywhere.
Hmm. Yeah. And then does coming from, a smaller school give you more of a chip on your shoulder? Also, I know already talked about like Cincinnati, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Compared to some of those guys that go to like Bama, do you feel like going to Old Dominion kind of helped you develop a better mindset in terms of like just your general how you conduct yourself?
I feel like the people that I've met here have helped me in my mindset and where I need to be. Because everybody knows Old Dominion is a smaller school. You might not hear of ODU, and the first thing that pops up is us. They might ask like, "Who is this? Where are y'all at?" Stuff like that. But I guess like the people and the connections that I built here have made me to the man that I am today after 6 years and having 2 degrees later, like on and off the field. Being able to talk to big compliance people, being able to talk to your university president, your athletic director, and being able to have connections with them, being able to play behind the 3rd round draft pick, being able to play behind a Super Bowl champion, having a Hall of Fame coach. Um, all things like that play a big factor, even over a school name. Because you have to think sometimes, even at bigger schools, coaches might only be there for a season or 2 seasons. You never know. Just like college football, the college football atmosphere is. But being able to be around a certain amount of people for a certain amount of time, and then being able to be around new people, it's just a whole bunch of experience built up. So I feel like being here at Old Dominion taught me a lot. But being a small school doesn't necessarily put a chip on my shoulder, but they've definitely have molded me. They definitely have molded me and took me to the next level of where I need to be.
Yeah, and then something I noticed just like kind of going scrolling through the site and stuff like that was the general like community. I noticed they take Tuesdays and Thursdays for like I forget what it was called, but just like a leisure kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
And then just like the fostering of a community and just how it's tight knit. Like, how do you feel like that kind of impacted you going to school there?
To be honest, I really didn't know too much about that coming into the school. So also we had coaching switches. Things are a little bit different because Coach Wilder did a little bit things differently than Coach Ronnie did. So Coach Wilder would have us out in the community the same way Coach Ronnie did, but some of the different events that we would do, or I would say they're both good and at the same sense. I'm trying to find a good example to tell y'all. So, like for example, same some of the things that the coaches do the same. Like I was able to mentor young grade school boys and give them something to look up to. I was able to do that with both staffs. We were also able to host Special Olympics with both staffs, being able to have different schools, be able to come out and us give the people participating very good encouragement, let them know that their community is behind them, and and everybody has a positive light. One of the biggest things that I learned about that is when you get out and engage in the community comes back and engages with you, and that's one of the biggest things that you know because well we have like before every game we have what they call a monarch walk. So some of the people that you engage in the community that you help out in the community, they come back out and they show you that same love in the monarch walk, and they come and shake your hand and they give you the life. So I want to do the absolute best I can. When I see a fifth grader that I told you could be just like me, and you're supposed to be better than me, and then I see him, he's shaking my hand, he has tears in his eyes, like I want to be where you are at. I got to go out here and show him why he wants to be where I'm at. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And then I always hear, about how these kind of smaller schools have that community and support. Do you feel like if you went to like a bigger school, obviously you don't know, but do you feel like there's a little bit more of that community because it's a smaller school in a smaller town versus, big college town, big college school?
To be honest, I feel like every school has like their own little like culture because different schools that we've been to, they definitely had fans come out. Other schools, not so much. I feel like at bigger schools they have about the same as what we had, maybe just more mass. But I feel like every school is different, and they have like their own traditions, and whatever they do for them works for them.
Yeah. And then your number,
Yes, sir.
97 to 9.
Yes,
Any
sir.
significance of the switch or just either number in general?
To be honest, when I came in as a freshman, I didn't have any say about my number. I came in as an early enrollee in January, so I feel like I got the number that was just a regular DN number, because you have to remember I was a hand in the dirt DN before I was a stand up end. So I embraced that number. I actually liked it a lot, I might say, and it's actually crazy because when I came to Old Dominion as a receiver for football camp, don't you know how they give you a camp shirt and you have a number on the back? My number on my camp shirt was number 97. So that's just showing me even further why I needed to be at that school, like how I was placed here. I was blessed to be here. But
Yeah.
going back into being able to play a few years under 97, and then finally earning my way to be able to request a number, I wanted to go back to my high school number, number 9, to be able to finish in my career and to be able to tie up my high school and college career.
Yeah. And then what does being part of a team mean to you?
Um, Being a part of a team, that's a tricky question. I like that you asked that. Like, being a part of a team can mean very different things for different individuals. For me, I bring a certain skill set to the table. And that's a skill set that a teammate or a colleague in the real world that brings something different than me. So I feel like when I bring my particular skill set, another guy brings his particular skill set, another guy brings his particular skill set, etc. And everybody brings in their skill sets into one and makes something that's super strong that can't be broken. So, for example, me being able to step into someone's organization in the fall or in April, I'll be bringing a particular skill set that will be able to enrich everything that they already have going on, and I'll be able to make them stronger in that aspect. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
You
sir.
hear all the time nowadays, about people being, locker room cancers and just not being good teammates, that sort of thing. So I think culture is something that NFL teams are starting to value more and more nowadays.
Yes, sir.
And then speaking of NFL teams, who are some guys that you're watching on tape in the pros? And is there anybody that you model your game after in particular?
Mm, well, I always watch my guy O'Shane Zimenez. I've been watching Tim Ward's film, his XFL film now. I watch Von Miller. I can't remember this guy's name on the top of my head, but he wears number 92 for the Saints. I like the way he rushes.
Cam
Um,
Jordan?
I'm a big social media user. I like going on D line vids, and I like how D line vids has a different variety of different teams and different people, and like the best rushes that people have thrown from week to week to week. So I also like going on D line vids and being able to study. Well, to be honest, I screen record them. I slow mo watch them through my camera, that way I can actually see what they're doing and not just fast pace.
Yeah. And then when you're watching like this film, like what exactly are you looking for as, some of those guys may not play the same style as you,
Mm-hmm.
play slightly different. What are you looking for like in the intricacies of the film?
Um. Okay. So some things that I would look for when I'm looking for a new move in particular. First, I would scroll through just to see anything that I would like, anything that I can envision myself doing. After that, I would like to I watch their feet, how many steps they take before they jab, how many steps they take upfield before throwing for their long arm, how many steps they take before throwing their chop or for their rip, being able to bend at the quarterback. I like seeing where the quarterback sits while they're doing this rush, because that's also a big factor of how you rush a tackle. Because if a quarterback sits at maybe 8 to 10, then you're gonna have to get into the tackle's chest a little bit faster. It's gonna have to be more of a speed to power rush to be able to collapse the pocket. But if a quarterback sits at maybe 10 to 12, maybe 13, then you'd be able to take more of an upfield rush and be able to beat him more with speed. So it's like it also goes also that film study is one of my favorite things. I'm so sorry. I'm so passionate about this. But also going further into that, you also have to see the tackles that they're going against. So, like, for example, when I watch my college film, I would see the particular tackle I'm going against per week. I would see how they get into their stance. I would see how they move their feet. I like to see when they flinch their knee. That way I can get off the ball a little bit quicker. I like to see where their eyes are because only three things can happen in the play. He's going to block to you, or he's going to block away, or it's going to be a pass play. So if his eyes are looking at me, I have to be ready to set the edge. If his eyes are looking down, I have to be ready to sit down. Or if he looks threatened, then I have to go ready to throw my best pass rush. So it's kind of like that at the next level too, but just a little bit more disguised. So just like looking at little things like that, to be able to put you over top of them and also some other people. That way, you know what to do before the play actually happens.
Yeah. And then something I noticed about your game was your ability to kind of be in the backfield, read plays, be intelligent. Do you think that comes from like your love of watching film?
Yes, most definitely. I was taught at a young age to always stay in the film room, because if you can't, if everybody has a flaw, even me, so I have to do a better job of covering my flaws. That way, people can't film study me. But there's always going to be something on film that you can exploit and try to use against the other player. So usually, if you watch enough film, then you're going to be able to find something about one player, and you're going to be able to expose that one thing during the game. So ever since I heard that as a freshman, it just builds up over the years as you gain more experience with it.
Yeah. And then who's your favorite player in the NFL when you were growing up? And then who's your favorite player currently?
Mm. Growing up, that's hard. I feel like growing up, my favorite player was Chad Ochocinco. I liked him just because when I played receiver, he was a guy that demanded the ball. He was a guy that was flashy. Um, shoot, man, see, he was just an overall dude. Like you couldn't deny him when he really wanted the ball. In today's age, like I feel like I just have a whole bunch of people that I admire and that I like. I really can't put my finger on just one. It's like it's literally so many. Like you could turn on the tape and see one thing someone does, and then turn on the tape again and see something that another person does, and you think that was your favorite person, and then now there's another person's your favorite person. So I feel like I like everybody in the league now, just because I can look up to what they're doing and wanting to be where they're at. So.
Yeah. And then which tackle right now in the league would you least want to go up against?
It's happened. That's a half and half question. The one that I want to go up against the most, but at the same time, just like you were saying, maybe not want to go up against is Mr. Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Trent Williams, he has the best PFF grades. He has he just him. He's Mr. Gorilla Man. Like he's the dog. I might say wherever if he puts his hands on you, you're not getting to the quarterback. So I feel like if I'm able to beat Trent Williams, you might be able to deserve the best title in the league. Like, and you might be able to deserve the best rusher in the league title. So,
Yeah. And then moving on to some like pre-draft training stuff. Like, what does your training regimen look like right now, preparing for the draft?
so I'm training with Anthony Stringfield down in Virginia Beach, in first string training. He's been doing a great job with training me and Andy and Ra. They go to Hampton in East Carolina. Right now, he has us doing a whole bunch. Maybe so I guess we would start off in the morning. We would come to our training facility. We have another coach in there named Coach A. She does a great job of stretching us out, making our bodies warm, uh, making us ready to fire for the day. We either do a workout, be able to strengthen some of the things that we do, and be able to go into what we do for our combine prep or now pro day prep. So and then after that, some days we have 2 days we will be able to go over to our indoor facility and be able to run a little bit with the a longer range of grass and just a whole bunch of things like interview preps, extra football drills at the end for the football drills after the combine. I mean, or after the pro day drills, and there's a whole bunch of preparing, a whole bunch of film study too. He records everything that we do and he goes back and helps us watch the film that we can make our steps better, make our rep better a little bit, maybe tighten the elbow here, maybe make our ankle tighter here, little things like that, like little ticky tack things that you wouldn't think made a big difference that makes your 40 time from a 4.6 to a 4.4.
Yeah. And then what does your general diet look like right now? How many calories, what are you eating, that kind of thing?
Shoot, right now I'm eating about 4 meals a day. I couldn't tell you how many calories it is, but I just know I'm a weight gain guy, slash maintain guy. So that at least that's what our nutritionist is telling us, or at least telling me. So she has me eating 4 square meals and also 2 protein shakes a day.
Yeah. And then kind of wrapping up those football questions, what's a message you have for all teams in the NFL looking to draft you?
When you look at me, you're getting someone that's sharp, someone that's relentless, someone that will do anything to get to the quarterback, someone that's looking for opportunity, and someone that's not going to let the opportunity go once they have it.
Yeah. And then just some like rapid fire fun ones. What's a big moment that changed your perspective?
As far as like just college football or
Anything. First
okay.
thing you can think of.
Well, I guess I'll go back and use the first stack as an example. Hearing a college say that you're not big enough to play in a particular conference, and then being able to see and be able to play and to be able to get 2 sacks against that team, because that just wasn't my that I got my first 2 sacks that game, if I'm being honest with you. So being able to be at that level, play at that level, it changed my perspective. Like, I'm supposed to be here. Like they were messed up for saying that to me, but I wasn't supposed to be there. God placed me here, and now if I can do that against them, I can do that against anybody.
Yeah. And then who's your biggest supporter?
I'll have to say my family support system. That is too much to name all in one call. But everybody that is listening and that I told them that I had this nice podcast interview with, they're all shouting at home right now, and I know they're all proud of me, and I appreciate everything that y'all do for me, and I love y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah. And then what do you do to decompress or relax when you're not training or studying film or anything football related?
To be honest, I was going to say watch film, but besides that, I like using my degree. If that makes sense. I like going over to. Well, I still kind of stay around campus, and I still have access to our university library. I like going to play on Adobe Premiere. I like making like little highlight tapes of old clips that I have, like trying to refine my skill in that aspect. Trying to work on my edits, make my edits a little bit more crisp, a little bit fresher. Trying to add new music as like new music comes out, stuff like that. Like seeing like how different editors and how people record their videos, and trying to gain inspiration from what they do. So I like doing a lot of editing on Adobe Premiere. In my free
Even
time.
that's still football though. You're just football guy 24/7.
Shoot. I'm about to say, yeah, but besides that, in this little time, I haven't needed anything else just yet.
Okay. And then if you could eat one food for the rest of your life, would it be?
I'm not sure about one food, but I would know. I just want
One
to eat
meal.
sweet.
Let's broaden it. One meal.
All right. Dessert. I like. I'm a big sweets guy. I like cookies, cakes, ice cream, like candy, stuff like that. My mom always made us eat all that stuff after our meals, but when I say I get my sweet tooth from her. So
Yeah. What would you say is like your favorite sweet?
Right now I'm gonna have to say gelato. I just
Ooh.
discovered what gelato was 2 years ago. And I'm about to say it's just like a creamier version of ice cream. Like, sorry, Cold Stone, but I'm about to say I think I would take gelato over ice cream any day now.
And then if I were to look in your fridge right now, what would I find?
You'll find a big gallon of milk, one side filled up with waters and Gatorades, some healthy snacks, some chicken breast, some 2 rolls of beef, some bacon, some rolls of sausage for breakfast sandwiches in the morning, some juice, a whole bunch of sauces that I use every now and again.
Man, look at that
In the
recall
door.
right there.
Shoot, I might say the fridge is stocked.
And then, given the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest?
Mm, that's a hard one. I'm gonna have to say a Beyonce.
Okay.
I say Beyonce only because I like. I'm about to say I like her as a singer and everything like that, and I know her business aspect is on a way different level. And I know if Beyonce has to come, I know Jay-Z has to come. So I get to have a 2-in-1 dinner. So I also get to talk to them about different things that made them rise to the level that they are.
Yeah. And then when you're working, training, there's got to be some days where you just, don't want to get out of bed. Body's not feeling it. Just an off day. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you going?
To be completely honest with you, I know I'm not. I know I'm not from Alabama. I know I'm not from Clemson. I know I'm not from Florida State. All those big type of schools. You know what I'm saying? I know I might not be drafted. So at the end of the day, if I want to make my dream happen, you got to go out here and make it happen. So I think that gives me enough motivation to be able to go out here and give it my best every single day.
Yeah. And then to finish us off today, what is something you've learned from playing football from a coach, teammate, whoever, that you apply off the football field?
I think I've learned perseverance because even though life is great, every day isn't going to be a great day. You never know what might not happen in a particular day on and off the field. So you might have a good day at football practice, and then something happens later on in the dorm or something like that, or you just might wake up on the wrong side of the bed one day. You can't let that be able to make you have a bad day. So you have to do your best in order to always have to be positive and always be able to have a good day, even though factors might try to get in the way of that.
To be updated every time a new episode of the podcast drops, you can follow me at Football by Nico on Twitter. Thanks so much for listening.